What's going on, my babies? Welcome back to another episode of the Spiritual Word. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background in advance and anything of that nature. And before I start these, I like to start these off with a disclaimer by stating that these are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research to come to your own conclusions, to make your own decisions, to have your own answers, and I believe in your ability to do so and to be your own person. And with that being said, I have an audio version of the podcast anywhere you can find podcasts, and I have a video version of the podcast on YouTube. They're both named The Spiritual Word. I'm your host, Jackie. I upload Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and if science, psychology, spirituality, self-help, and philosophy are things that you're interested in, then I recommend subbing or following. Those are my main 5 topics. I'm not going to say that that's the only thing that I talk about, but those are my main go-to things. And yeah. So besides all that, I don't have a specific topic for today. I think that there's some things that I'm getting ready to talk about, and I don't really like to hard plan these, if that makes sense. I don't want to specifically have a plan to talk about this thing. I like to go based off the inspiration that I'm getting in my day-to-day experiences. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm drinking Thai tea right now. I obviously can't fucking show you, but I'm drinking Thai tea. That's my latest addiction. Because yesterday I was drinking horchata and I was like, ooh, now I want sugar. And anyways, not the point. So I've been on this I wouldn't say streak, but I've been on this trying to change my thinking for a period of time now. I'm not gonna say that's a big streak, but it's been a month or something. And I'm trying to get into this creative mindset that I was I'm naturally creative, but I think I need to be more creative in the sense of creative in the realm of creativity, if that makes sense. So I feel like all this is my philosophy, and philosophy is a bunch of different shit. So this is a part, a little teeny itty bitty part of the philosophy in which I exist. But I think that it's very helpful, or that it gets you further, or that it's a more useful skill to have a very creative way of expression, and not only a very creative way of expression, but a very creative um, mind, or a creative way of thinking. And I think that that is a very beneficial thing, because it'll help me solve problems that I don't even recognize are problems just yet. You know what I mean? I will stop a problem before I even see the problem. And I'm trying to get to a point where I have creative solutions for everything. So right now I've been practicing not necessarily creative things, but I'm trying to get myself to think of things in a more creative way. And I say that because yesterday I was talking about how I want to do something different on here. And I don't know if I want to just completely throw this whole shit away. And, because I feel like my personality is very I love to change. And I was born in the 5th month of the year. And 5 is the number of change. And I am really comfortable with change. And something like things that I used to normally do don't excite me as much as I used to, and then sometimes I just need to take breaks from them. And sometimes I just need to do things in a different way than I have been. And so I'm trying to come up with a different creative way of integrating more fun and playfulness into these specific episodes. So I'm not gonna do that right now. I've thought of a couple ways, but I'm not gonna do that in today's episode. I just want to talk about that. And I also don't want to make these extremely meh. You know what I mean? I was thinking about reading Start Where You Are, because one of my, I like to say spiritual mentors gave it to me, but this person and I are friends. And it's a book that this person has already read through, and like there's a bunch of notes and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool that there's notes in here. Just because it gives me a different way of thinking, so I was gonna read this with you guys and just go through it chapter by chapter just because I feel like this is an extremely helpful book. I feel like it should be everywhere. And not only that, but I feel like it'll give you a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the ways in which you specifically choose to live your life. I think it will help you live your life in a more um what's the word? I don't want to say helpful, but I think that it gives you a helpful advantage to being able to choose love specifically, because I feel like a lot of people don't choose love in their day-to-day experiences. And so anyways, I don't know, I feel like I should probably read this, and I probably will. That'll be one of my this is okay, so I have a couple different ways of like I was gonna say spicing this up, and then I was gonna say spunking it up, but just changing in general. Like I've read my numerology books. I've read them on here, and I think it's in season 8 or season 5. I'm not sure. But I have read books with you guys before, and they did okay. I feel like my shit's been getting less and less traction, which is so weird to me when I started talking about things that are spiritual and like shit like that, or things that are helpful for you, which is also very weird, I think. But anyway, and then I thought about trying different things. I'm gonna tell you guys some of the ideas that I've been having, and maybe you want to comment. I think you can comment on Spotify, so you can comment on there. Or if you're on the YouTube video, then you can comment on there. If you're on the podcast, you want to go see the YouTube. They're both named The Spiritual Word. So if you want to go comment there, give me some ideas, whatever, then let me know. Or if I'm giving an idea and you like that idea, let me know, because this is gonna be a very, very fucking short episode. So number one, I read this with you, and then once I'm done reading this with you, I'll reread The Science of the Mind with you and give you my take on that. And because I feel like this is a very intellectual place already. You know what I mean? Like I feel like intellectual things are it's kind of fun if you're like a natural learner of life like I am. And you know, another idea that I had was reading doing readings, tarot readings occasionally. I don't want to do this like every single day, but doing these readings occasionally. And then another one was damn, I just had it just completely slipped. What was the other one? What was the other one? Damn, I really like that idea. I gotta like sit here and like really think about it. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. I remembered. So one of them was reading, another one was reading the book, and then the second one was reading you guys and your energy slash our energy. And then the third one was making, or not necessarily like making up, but reading or coming up with my own stories, if that makes sense. Like, I am a very creative, artistic person, so I was thinking I'd write like a general basis for a story, like not like a normal story, like a really weird science fiction-y story, like a very sci-fi type of thing, where I'm like, okay, imagine we lived on a planet where instead of people, we were like duck people. You know, like those types of things where it's like a very weird sci-fi, Rick and Morty, like watch these when you're off one, you know? And then I was thinking I could do that, or I could do something that obviously you have to be able to hear it. So I was thinking about partially I was thinking about music, but then I was like, no, I already do music, so like let's not go that way. So I was thinking about like doing either poetry or having like a story where I read to you. You know, like everything has to be basically coming out of my mind or out of my brain or out of my mouth, you know? So it was that. Those are my current lists. And those are just like the beginning brainstorming ideas, because obviously I can think of other things like read stories off of Reddit, because Reddit, that place got a lot of creative ideas. So I was thinking about, posting my question on Reddit and seeing how many responses I get, because Reddit has a uh, very big fan base, and like everybody's into everything. So we'll see that. And then that, or I can do or watch a like specific video that's educational based and then give you my take on those things, like commentary on certain things, Like I was thinking I could do book commentaries, since I already have a couple books that I could give you commentary on. Or I could just read them with you, or I can do my own commentary where I come up with creative stories. And like I feel like I already do commentary, life quotation marks, life commentary, because I'm always talking about, oh, this is my idea on like when people are very lonely and blah blah blah, like, what do you do? And the whole tarot thing, I would be able to give you readings and then put my commentary in. And most of the shit that I have to do, or most of the shit that I have the ability of doing, would be commentary. So that's why it's there so much, because I feel like podcasts, you have to obviously be able to hear it, and I can't visually show you something off of being like an audio version of this. Or I can do very specific, like, I feel like I already give you like real stories about me, but if you want specific stories that will help you, or like better yet, you comment your situations that you want my 2 cents on. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted originally for this, but I feel like I don't have a lot of traction because of how split up everything is. Like the fact that if I get comments on YouTube, it's only like one every couple of episodes, because I have no promotions, or I don't really do promote my YouTube. I promote the podcast as like a whole, but a lot of people that I promote my podcast, they go to the audio rather than the video. And I feel like it's so weird, because the impressions that I get on my YouTube channel versus my podcast specifically, like the audio version, does better, like number wise. So I feel like it has to be able to interact with you guys who are listening specifically, because I feel like my listeners are the audience, not the people who are watching. So I want this to be a very, you know, um, audio based type of thing, because I can always do something on YouTube later after, if that's something that you want to see. But if not, obviously I want this to be based off of, my listenership. So with that being said, I'm gonna end this here. So basically, just let me know. And if you're on the audio podcast version, you can't comment. I think on Spotify you can actually comment. So let me know if that's, whatever you want to listen to. And if you want to comment, but you can't comment on the podcast, on the audio, you can always go to YouTube, or you can go to my Discord. That's where I originally had all of these things, but I feel like it's also really annoying, just because people don't like to click on different things, and you're already here, so you don't want to go somewhere else, but it's the only way in which we can actually converse. So I will leave my Discord. But my Discord is already linked from my it's already linked from my Instagram. So my Instagram is always in every single episode. Every single bio, or what is it called? Every single description of every single episode, it's there. And so if you go to my Instagram, either you could just sit there, DM, and I could send you a link to the Discord if that's something that you want to do, or if you don't have Discord and you just want to directly go to the IG, then you can directly DM me and let me know which one of these you liked better. And if not, it is what it is. I'm gonna just pick out of all of these and see how good it does. And if it doesn't do good, then I'll switch back to what I was originally doing, just like giving my 2 cents into people's lives and blah, blah, blah. So, with that being said, thanks for tuning in and tapping in, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being here. As always, I appreciate you and I love you, my babies. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.